Hello there, Socko here. I have been procrastinating on that Switch 2 predictions video, and once I was getting done on that script, bam, Nintendo Switch 2 revealed. So today, I want to talk about my opinions and predictions for Nintendo's new hardware. First off, I am so happy this new system is called the Switch 2. Why? Because I believe Nintendo did not have to reinvent the wheel. This system is extremely similar to the original Switch, and we are not sure yet if there are any major new gimmicks to the console. I remember when I was little back in 2009, when I would watch videos on YouTube about the futuristic Wii 2, I thought it was an amazing idea and concept. It seemed magical back then, but then Nintendo announced the Wii U. And I remember as I watched the trailer, I was not sure if it was a new console. At first, I thought it was an extension of the Wii, with a new gamepad. And of course, the name did not help sort off the confusion. I believe if Nintendo had simply named it the Wii 2, it would have been much more successful, since it was very clear to consumers what they were buying was the successor to the Wii. Nintendo actually learned from all their mistakes during the Wii U era. We see this in their marketing strategies, games, and philosophy. Just compare the Wii U and Switch advertisements.
Woshi! It's a double Yoshi explosion!
The games, and just the menu interface. I am glad they took a page out of Sony's book and finally used that big number 2 on one of their consoles for the first time in their history. Not only did I want this console to be called the Switch 2, I also wanted Nintendo to make this very clear with the logo. And they did. They took the same logo and put a huge 2 next to it, which is exactly what I was hoping they will do. Now we will not repeat the Wii U marketing catastrophe. Everyone will know that this is a brand new system from Nintendo. A successor to the best-selling system of all time. And actually, just think about how strange it will be for kids when they hear about a Nintendo GameCube or a Nintendo Wii for the first time. These kids will be so accustomed to the switched branding and identity that it will be strange for them to hear about a Nintendo system not called the Switch. It's as if Sony released a console named the Prism Master. It will just seem strange when we are so used to the PlayStation branding. Now onto the design. Gosh, is it really boring and underwhelming, especially the choice of color. Unlike the original Switch, that console had an identity with the neon red and blue Joy-Cons. You can tell a Nintendo Switch apart from the crowd from miles away, but this here seems a bit washed out. They could have come up with something more unique, something that has not been done design-wise with any other Nintendo console. I guess this is something new, which is not very exciting. Every other Nintendo console had a defining characteristic and unique design. The white glossy Wii, the purple GameCube, the gray NES, the colorful SNES. But again, it has that big 2 next to it for a reason. We should expect it to be like the Switch, but they for sure could have made it stand out more. Maybe there will be other interesting color options. We will have to wait and see. So something that I totally was not expecting was the Switch to increase in size. Was the original Switch not big enough? I am not sure how I feel about it. I cannot say anything until I hold one in my hands. For sure, the Joy-Cons will be more comfortable, but it is kind of irritating that this system will be less portable. I really hope Nintendo releases a mini version of the system. Power. Why is that even a discussion? It is Nintendo, of course. What we know is that it will be more powerful than the original Switch, but definitely not as powerful as the PS5 or whatever is the latest Xbox system. To some, this is a letdown, but at the same time, for people like me, who mainly play Nintendo games, it's a big deal. I know PlayStation and PC users will laugh at our face, but we had games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom running on Switch. Imagine what amazing games we'll be able to play next. What matters is that it will be an upgrade for the original Switch. I mean, we will have 24 racers in the next Mario Kart already. Things will only get more big and grand in this system. I am sure Nintendo will find new ways to blow our minds. I predict that the Switch will be able to play games at 1080p 60 frames per second in handheld mode, and 4K 60 frames per second docked. Initially, I believe that it will be able to output only 1440p when docked. But seeing the size increase of the Nintendo Switch 2 makes me think that the console is beefier than I initially thought it would be. For the price, I believe the Switch 2 will be priced at $399. But even with everything they showed, I have a feeling Nintendo had something up their sleeve. Usually, every console since the DS has had a gimmick. The DS with its touchscreen, the Wii with its motion controls, the 3DS with its 3D effects, the Wii U with a second screen as a gamepad, and the Switch working as a hybrid portable console. I always wondered, would it be possible for the Nintendo Switch dock to act as an extension of the Switch? What do I mean by that? I mean, what if the dock was just not a dock, but the other half of the console? This means that the Switch tablet and dock will be two separate systems that could come together as one. What would be the point of this, you may ask? Well, the Wii U had a gamepad that acted as a second screen, but the pad was not the console, it was just a controller. With the Switch, it's the opposite. The tablet is the console and the dock is just a dock. If the dock also had power, it could do what the Wii U did and actually play games even when the Switch tablet is off the dock. This means that you could play Wii U games like Nintendo Land, where you could take the Switch 2 tablet and have it work as a second screen, just like the Wii U gamepad did. This would actually open up a lot of possibilities. One of them, for example, is the Nintendo DS games. I am sure that on Switch 2 NSO, Nintendo will expand its library of playable Nintendo games and consoles. With this technology, Nintendo could release Nintendo DS games on NSO and have the Switch tablet act as the bottom screen. Nintendo could also re-release some of its Wii U games that require the gamepad, such as Nintendo Land. Some of these could even release on the day that the Switch 2 comes out. So many new Nintendo fans have never owned or played the Wii U, so this would be brand new to them. And as we saw with the original Switch, those games that were ported from the Wii U were a massive success. I think doing this would again set Nintendo apart from all the competition. Besides the games, Nintendo has always had that wow factor that every other gaming company tries to replicate, and I think for this generation this would be it. I cannot imagine the amount of creative projects and ideas Nintendo and other developers would come up with, having all these different choices. Having a dock that can add to the Switch's 2 power makes the idea of a 4K docked mode not that far-fetched. But that is something that we will get to see in the future. So, are you excited for the Nintendo Switch 2? What games are you most excited to see come to life on the new system? Let me know in the comments below. And for now, peace out.